This show is sponsored by Carpet Direct of Des Moines, Iowa. Welcome to Half Full and a Cup of Joe with Joe Fulford, the show that's always overflowing with optimism and caffeine. Joe's got his game face on and his coffee cup full, ready to dive into the world of football. From the Florida Gators to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and beyond to college and NFL football, Joe's got the analysis, the insights, and the passion to get you pumped up and ready for the game. So sit back, relax, and fill up your cup with Joe. And now from West Des Moines, Iowa, here is Joe Fulford.
Oops. Oh, yes. Ready to go, ready to bring it on. Oh, yeah. Let's kind of slide that music down here. I can do it. Yes. I am just so pumped up. Given everything that's been happening, things that's been going on, it's just been one thing after another, and it's been really crazy this past week. Saw some great games in both the AFC and the NFC championship game. That was crazy. That Patriots game was downright crazy in the snowstorm. Reminded me a lot of the famous Tuck Rule game. If you recall that game, there was a lot of that game had a lot of snow, but not as much as what we saw with not as much as what we saw Sunday. That was a lot worse than what we saw in the past. Glad you could be with me tonight on this edition of Half Full and Cup of Joe. You're surely the animal with you, Ron Brown. Is going to join me here a little bit later on. He is running just a tad late, but he should be on a little bit later on. Now, let's see here. I gotta do this real quick if you don't mind. We had some issues with Facebook and not able to broadcast on there. So I gotta turn this down here, man. So what we're gonna do is I gotta do this real quick and post the the show. So let's see here. So let me do this right here. I had some issues with Facebook, weren't able to get on. So we're doing this through X and also through YouTube. And if you can get on, comment with us on and talk about the things that's going on. Ron Brown will join me a little bit later on. We'll talk to him, talk about what's going on in the world of sports. School writer Andrew, I believe it's Andrew Messamori, I believe if I got that right. Lucas Messamori. He is a student at the University of Florida, probably writes for the Alligator. He's supposed to join me as well. We'll get a student viewpoint of what's happening with the Florida Gators. And of course, James Luderman may join me, hopefully, and get his thoughts on what's the latest news with the Buccaneers. They have a new special teams coach. They have a new offensive coordinator. He met the media yesterday. I love what I heard. I think that this guy could very well be just what the Bucs need. Listening to him, everything that he was saying, and I think in the end, I think that the Bucs got their man. I think the Bucs actually got the man that they want. And we're gonna find out. Obviously, post in the comment, the chat room on X or YouTube. And again, if you're watching on Facebook, if you have a YouTube channel, you can comment there, or you can also comment on you can also comment in YouTube as well. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. There we go. We just now should be coming up here in just a minute. Finally, Facebook's been having issues all day. I was just now able to get on, but we're going to wait for Ron Brown. Believe it or not, well, Ron Brown, Facebook didn't happen, so hang on here. See if I can get that going. But believe it or not, where Ron Brown is, I believe what is it Auburn, Alabama? There he is. I forget where he is. I know he's in one of those towns where you can go to the hardware store and get a moon pie and OC cola. I mean, I should ask him that, when he comes in. If he actually is able to get a moon pie and OC cola. Yeah, not able to get Facebook. So comment on YouTube or X. Speaking of Ron Brown, he's already there, live and in living color, my friend. Welcome. I hang on. Whoa, hang on. Let me add you here. Hang on. There we go. How are you, my friend?
Just in from duck hunting. I mean, to tell you, the season ends Saturday at sundown, and we have been outside freezing our tails off over here in Parkin, Arkansas, right outside of Memphis, and we literally I just got through cleaning ducks.
Oh, that's right.
And
that's right. That's right. You're in Memphis. That's right.
Yeah, and I was trying to run into town real quick and pick up dinner, and the place that we love to get our food from, the great Lebanese chef that makes kibbis and grape leaves and couscous, and he does kebabs and seafood. They'd sold out of everything, so they're doing burgers while I'm on the show. But we got about 8 or 10 inches of snow here. And it doesn't have anywhere to go because it's been getting to be 6 and 7 and 8 degrees at night. But hey, I love this stuff. Thank God for my F-150 Landers Ford and 4-wheel drive.
There you go.
You gotta love it.
There you go.
Rob Brown is here and he's ready to get jacked up, excited.
There we go.
Sports with I love coming on your show.
And I appreciate having me tonight. And also, Lucas Messemer is supposed to be joining me a little bit later on. Cool. Well, I want to get, and it's nice because I want to get a student's perspective.
Yeah.
How they cover the sport, not just football, but in general, how they do things. So, let's start with at least the news from the Florida Gator perspective. We know now that they're doing workouts, and they're really starting to bring things together. They've announced already that the Orange and Blue game will be on April 11th. They're going to start their spring practice on March 1st, have a break during the spring break, then come back and practice again. I believe they have like 15 or 20 practices, something like that. But it's what Judge Summerall said during halftime of the Auburn basketball game Saturday night. Now, if you've been watching the tapes of the Gators during their practices, one thing you notice is that they don't wear the Gator logo on their shirt. And he was asked about that Saturday night, and to put it plain and simple, he says, quite frankly, if you want to wear the logo, you definitely have to earn it.
Yeah, well, it's a lot like what Urban Meyer did. I mean, go back and the tutorial on how Florida football should be is Swamp Kings, okay? You've got to earn the logo. You got to earn the right to wear it. And I love that. I love it when coaches do that. These kids today want to be pushed hard. All you got to do is push them harder than they've ever been pushed, and you'll get great things out of them. They are my generation's kids, okay? So I find it insulting. People say these kids are soft. And no, it maybe a lot of the parents are soft. But if a coach, if you look at the top four, the final four in the playoff, the four coaches that were there, you had Pete Golding's, he's a hard ass at Ole Miss. Dan Lanning, same thing at Oregon. Kurt Cignetti, good God, he's a clone of Nick Saban. And Mario Cristobal, hard ass driven coach. That's what wins. We have tried to complicate this and reinvent the wheel. We don't have to do that. Be tough, be demanding, and hold your kids accountable. And we talked about it last night on the Lowdown with Lauren Meadows on our channel. And it was pretty simple. Like Lauren said, hey, John Summerall, go out and engage with the Gator Nation. They love you. They love the University of Florida. Do it and do it often. Like the mayor, Boss Hogg. Get out there and they're gonna love it. It's gonna resonate with them. I'm taking away the logo. They've got to re-earn their spot. Jaden Ball is going to be the leader in the offseason, winter workouts, spring workouts, and the mat drills. He is physically probably the strongest guy on the team. He may be the strongest Florida Gator since Doc Lucky back in 80-81, who bench pressed 605 pounds. Keeping him, Lauren, buddy, you know this, Joe, keeping him at Florida was ginormous.
Oh, definitely. And someone will touch on that during halftime of the game. Said, quite frankly, we had to get those 5 Ball, Woods. There were 3 others that I can't think off the top of my head.
Wilson.
Wilson was another one. Yes, Dallas Wilson. And he even said that on Jaden Woods that he took his family on Christmas Eve with the dog into his home, into Jaden Woods' home on Christmas Eve, and had dinner with him. So I think that rubbed off well on them, and now they've started the off-season workouts. And the Gators also have a how I don't know if you know this or not, but the Florida Gator football media team, they put out a little highlight thing called "This Is the Swamp." I don't know if you've seen it, but they have a new episode out. I encourage people to go on and watch the thing. About 35 minutes long, but it's the best 35 minutes you'll watch of the insight into Florida Gators. Danny Wolf talked about the process of trying to get the new head coach, and then you see someone speaking to the team directly. And quite frankly, the more I hear John Summerall, the more I'm ready to run into a brick wall for the man. I mean, he just lights it up.
Well, the 2 years he was at Troy, he played for the conference championship. The 2 years he was at Tulane, John Summerall's Tulane team played for the conference championship, and they made it to the playoffs, okay? Tulane, Troy, that's not easy. Now, what Summerall does too is he connects to his players and his coaches. He is not, I don't think he's really the CEO type of guy. He played defense. He was a linebacker, leading tackler on the Kentucky team until he had a neck or spinal injury, had to give up football. And then he got a call from Kentucky. Hey, come up here and coach. He got back into coaching. He loves it. Watch him. I've seen him in games in person when you're 20 feet from the guy, right behind the bench. He engages nonstop. He is so tied in to what is going on the field. He'll go in there and work out if he can with his players. He will be right there with them. And Ben Troop talked about it last night about what is a player's coach. Does that mean that you're soft and you're buddies with them and you go out drinking with them? No, a 180 from that. It just means that you understand, look, I've played the game. I know what it takes to win at the highest level, especially in the case of Ben Troop getting to the NFL. They understand what these players are doing. They also know from experience what they need to do, how hard they need to be pushed. And where do you find the quitters? In the winter workouts, the mat drills, spring workouts, summer workouts. That's where you find your quit, because they cannot quit on game day. That's too costly.
And he talks about, and he talked about to the media. He said these workouts are where you find out who wants to play and who does not want to play. You're going to find out who the quitters are and who really wants to play. And in terms of him getting out into the community, you saw where he spoke to the fans at the Auburn game before halftime, and the fans were really into him. They really loved what he was saying. I know for a fact that there's going to be a coaches clinic, I think on March 27th. I'm not sure. Go to FloridaGators.com for that information. But he's going to have Urban Meyer. He's going to have himself. He's going to have John Gruden. And also, I believe Steve Spurrier also going to be there as well. So for someone, he is getting out there and trying to meet with the fans.
Well, you've got to connect with your players and your fans. We talked about this. I've said this on my show. Lawrence said it on his show last night that I was on with him. Open up 3 or 4 practices. Bring the fans back. I'm going to tell you, Joe, we had Ralph Russo, lead writer for The Athletic, on our show yesterday morning. Made a good point. All the NIL, all the portal, all this off-field craziness, it's driving everybody nuts. But once the games are here, game day, everything's okay. It might be better than we can ever remember. Look at the TV numbers. Look at the eyeballs. But, in talking to people, different fan bases in the SEC, they're getting kind of sick of, which I am too, the players that don't really love the school like they do. We want that back. If I'm John Summerall at Florida, or I'm any coach, I'm getting the fans. I'm opening up some practices. What do you have to hide? All this paranoia. Nick Saban really exacerbated this whole thing. But open up some practices. They do it in the NFL. The fans flock to it. You connect with your fans. We have gotten to where we think, well, that's old-fashioned. You don't have to do that. Yeah, you do. We're going full circle in this thing. John Summerall is the best hire of the people out there. You say, well, you got coaches from the American Conference, Silverfield at Arkansas, Golish at Auburn, Summerall at Florida. I think they're all damn good coaches. And one thing that I know they all do, they are OCD, ADHD workaholics. They'll text you at 4:15 in the morning. Nobody's going to outwork these guys. They are starved. There's only 16 SEC jobs in the world.
And he talks about how if you want to really see what these guys do, I mean, he makes a point to say and this was at the press conference, that we are going to give these guys things that they have never seen before. We are going to challenge them. And he says, if you don't believe me, stand outside the fence at 5:55 every Wednesday morning, because you're going to see what this team does, which ironically was today. So, I mean, but no, they're all working out, and they're really starting to get things going now. And we're also seeing some guys coming through the transfer portal, but I'm confused because I thought the transfer portal ended a couple of weeks ago. How is it that they can still get players? Please explain that to me.
It's so much ambiguity concerning the transfer portal. Technically, it was January 2nd to January 16th, but players can still, school's already started. So what happened was Indiana and Miami got an extra 5 days, maybe a week, because they played on the 19th. So that allowed them to make up some ground. But I don't think that the transfer portal is still, it's not open now. But you're still hearing about guys transferring. Well, I don't know how they're doing it, but guys, Joe, there are no rules with the NCAA anymore. It is complete chaos. They are a spineless, feckless organization. There's some great people. I'm telling you, I know Steve Shaw. We bring him on the show 2 or 3 times a year. The head of officials for the NCAA. Okay. He's out of Birmingham. He won't move to Indianapolis. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a good man. He'll explain what's going on. By the way, one of the things he talked about, targeting calls are going down. I think the message just resonated with the players because it's too costly. And I'll tell you something else. The NFL, that's a red flag if you've got a lot of targeting. They don't like that.
Plus, I think in a lot of ways they've softened the rules a little bit on that. Don't you think?
No, I don't think they have. I think players have adapted. My dad would always say, if you want to teach them how to tackle right and stop this targeting, go back and put leather helmets on them with no face mask like he played with. So I think that's what you should do. But the message is getting through. But nonetheless, the reviews are beyond annoying. Okay. I think people need to realize we did have a lot of targeting. We had spearing. How do you tackle? We don't do the Oklahoma drill anymore. A lot of people know. Football is a violent game. Okay? You know what you're signing up for. If you join the Marine Corps, you're not signing up to pass out flowers and toothpaste. You know what you sign up for. When you play college football, ask Ben Troop, ask Wesley Britt, ask Roman Harper, people we talk to. I'm telling you, they will say it's like being in a 75-mile-an-hour car crash every Sunday. And it ain't that different in the SEC. In fact, I had a high-level guy that deals with college and pro football staffing tell me that he talked with a coach who's on the Ohio State roster. He said he came from the NFL recently, this year, last week. He said the talent at Ohio State is better than 3 or 4 of the NFL teams that I've worked with. It's changing, and guys are coming back. The NFL better watch out because I don't know how we're going to stop the guys that won't leave the nest, but you did it in basketball. Charles Bediako at Alabama, and Tennessee still beat them. Someone asked me, Shane Matthews, this morning, I was on his show. Hey, are we going to start seeing NFL guys come back to college? Why not? Why not? Everything else is happening. It's all on the table.
Yeah, and Lucas, thanks for watching us tonight. He posts this. Aren't the students, they can't just unenroll and enroll into a different university?
No.
Well, no. I mean they could, but they would have to sit out a year in that case, right?
Well,
I mean,
here's what happened.
And Lucas, thank you for the question. Go ahead and answer it.
All right. If let's say class starts for the semester January 16th, drop an ad goes a week later. You can drop an ad till the 23rd. After that, you're FUBAR. Good luck. And that's why every time you transfer after the first transfer, your graduation chances just plummet. Now, that doesn't mean you'll never graduate. It just may take you 8 or 10 years.
Who's the guy that
Tommy Boy?
Chambliss?
No, Chambliss. Trinidad Chambliss has only actually played, according to
6 years.
Yancey Porter, 2.5 years of football. He was sick. He missed a lot for medical reasons. He's got about 2.5 years. The NFL people are telling the colleges it's out there. You need 25 to 30 starts in college. You may come into the NFL on 13 starts. Your measurables at the combine look good and all that stuff. But after, people figure you out real fast. So you need a lot of experience. Repetition is the mother of all skill. If you don't have those starts, the recognition, those important things, what's in your data bank, what's in your head. You start 15 games in one season. Now, Cam Newton, he was at Florida as a backup 2 years, went to Blinn Community College in Texas, won a national championship. It's the greatest single season I've ever seen by a quarterback because he wasn't surrounded by NFL talent on that Auburn roster. In fact, there wasn't really, but you just happened to have a year, 24 seniors, the best defensive player in the country, Nick Fairley on the defensive line, and Cam Newton on offense. You look now, what's the quickest way to build team unity? Hard practices. Takes 13 weeks at Paris Island from the time that bus pulls up across the causeway. You get off the bus. The drill instructor gives you a nice, warm, cordial greeting. Get off of my bus. You have exactly 5 seconds, and it ain't that nice. In 13 weeks, you can turn them into hardcore Marines. Now, they go to AIT. They go to advanced training after that. But you can do it. It takes 2 years to build an offensive line. And I'm telling you right now, all this talk about, well, you got to be soft or they'll hit the portal. Hit the button for them. Get those weak asses out of there. Look at Kurt Cignetti. How many 5 stars did he have on that team? 0. How many 4 stars? 7. How many 3 stars? 62.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to bring up his name, but by the way, before I go any further, Lucas also commented on something about Liam Cohen. I couldn't figure out what he meant by that, and then I went back and looked. I talked about the coaches clinic that's coming up on the 27th. The coaches are going to be John Gruden, John Summerall, Urban Meyer, and Liam Cohen, not Steve Spurrier. So, Lucas, thank you for that correction. But yeah, I remember Billy Napier. I don't know if that's credible anymore, but Napier talked about how a lot of the talent that's contributing to football teams, they're not 5 stars, they're not 4 stars, they're mainly 2 and 3 stars who are hungry and want to become winners and work their asses off to become good football players. And I think always Napier's right from that perspective.
Well, Billy Napier also talked about things that don't require talent. Being early to workouts, not just on time, but being early. 95% of life is showing up with a positive attitude. Okay? It's not that complicated. Billy Napier is a good guy. I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think it worked out at Florida for a couple of reasons. Primarily, the quarterback situation. DJ Lagway got hurt, and Pete Cordelli, one of our coaches, said, what can you do? It's hard at quarterback. And if you've got changes with the offensive coordinator, who's calling the plays, who's coming through on those headsets, change of cadence. Those are tough. Look.
I know they're tough. Yes, they are. I mean,
Pete Cordelli, Pete coached 31 years in college, 14 of them with Lou Holtz at Notre Dame and Arkansas and Minnesota. One of the things Pete said, very smart on the quarterbacks. DJ Lagway got hurt in the summer offseason workouts trying to rehab. You can push. You just got to take. He basically in the last month of the season was where he should have been back in the first week of August. But it's crazy.
Let me interrupt for just a second. Is that a fault of DJ Lagway, or is that a fault of the training staff not paying attention enough to Lagway's progress?
Probably both. Everybody those guys want to get you better. You want to get better, but you better trust me. We've all injured ourselves. Rest. You got to rest. The hardest thing to do is to slow down to get faster. But I had a trainer tell me that one time training for triathlons, and I was like, well, "You're not." He goes, "Trust me." God, he was right. Your body, football. After you've got the preseason, the competitive season, the postseason, and the off season. But you're always training. It's the levels of intensity. The thing about John Summerall that is going to be, I think what he'll do, in my opinion, he will make Florida tougher. They had the 9th most talented roster on the college football, the CFP matrix, the blue chip index, the BCI. That's the number of 4- and 5-star players you have on your roster in every 4-year cycle. Okay. And you know what? Indiana we've never had a team ever in this since they started keeping that blue chip index win a national championship without having 51% or more of their roster 4- and 5-star players. I mean, the significance of what Indiana and Kurt Cignetti accomplished, Don't sleep on that. This is a pivotal moment in college football history. It's not going to mean we can't have dynasties. They're going to be few and far between. But what Kurt Signetti and those coaches do, they can evaluate talent and they can develop talent. Joe, you and I both get $1,000. Say, go to the best grocery store in Des Moines, go to the best grocery store in Memphis. All right, you get your $1,000, you get halibut, aged Angus beef, and some free-range chicken. I get the same stuff. You've got Uncle Charlie from My Three Sons cooking in the kitchen. I've got Gordon Ramsay. Who's developing the food better? You know, you've got a lot of living brain donors out there that evaluate talent. They don't know what they're doing. You cannot measure heart. You cannot measure toughness, and you cannot measure will. Potential is a French word, a Cajun word for you ain't done a damn thing yet, as Jimmy Ott tells us. Willing to do. What are you willing to do to be great? That's what the great coaches. You watch Summerall. If he doesn't win at least 8 games his first year at Florida, I will be shocked. Now, I was wrong last year. I thought Florida would win 10. I looked at the talent, but also didn't know how badly messed up and injured DJ Lagway was.
Well, not only that, by the way, he's Rob Brown of SEC. What is it? SEC Inside?
It's SEC Sidelines Sports Network. My
Thank
show
you.
Sidelines, Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 a.m. Central. That is the same time in Des Moines.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that more on that in just a bit. But he's Rob Brown at SEC Sidelines. Just truly the animal. Half full cup of Joe. Like Lucas, comment in the chat room. You have any questions for Rob? I was only going to keep you half hour, but if you could stay longer, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll stay as long as you want me to. I love coming on with you. You are a passionate man.
Well, and I really do appreciate that. Oh my God, he finally. Wait a minute. Okay, so we have a third member of the group joining us right now, Lucas Messmore, joining us on this edition of Half Full Cup of Joe. Lucas, I know. Well, wait a minute. That's in South Carolina. Okay, so you may be live at the confines of the O'Connell Center there. Okay, with the background. I love it. By the way, thank you for joining me.
I love that.
I know, because I thought Florida was playing at home, but they're in South Carolina. Oh, and another funny thing too, I just saw Sean Kelly post something about Darius Rucker, seeing if he was going to be at the game tonight. I thought that's kind of cool. Lucas, thank you for joining me on this edition. Before we go any further, tell us a little bit about yourself. From what I understand, you are a student at the University of Florida, correct?
Santa Fe right now. I won't get my decision for Florida for a while. But I applied the transfer for the fall 2026 semester.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, thank you very much so you have an insight on what's going on with the Gators right now. Give us your insight on John Summerall and what he's been doing thus far.
Well, they continue about me because first I actually worked with Lauren and Rob on Tuesdays sometimes. So
yeah, I know on the lowdown with Rob and company. Yeah, so we know that. That's how we met.
Sure. You're
there in the college. You're there watching this team on a regular basis. Your thoughts about John Summerall, what he's been doing?
Well, I agree with Lauren's take yesterday about opening practices. If he can do that, do that. I appreciate the no logo thing. I think Billy Napier had a soft approach when it came to like the treatment of players. I do agree players should be treated right, but I kind of feel like he over coddled a lot of the players during his tenure at Florida. Like they didn't really practice hard according to a lot of reports. So I appreciate Summerall changing the attitude, especially putting his culture immediately. So that's my take on it.
When you look at everything that Summerall is doing, trying to bring a new approach, I go back to Deion Sanders last year, and I want to talk about that in just a minute. You go back to Deion Sanders, and when he first came on board and met with the coaching staff, he made a point to say that you're not a friend of the players; they are not your friends, etc. And I kind of like looked at it from both ways. I mean, I can understand where he's coming from, but do you find that to be true? Should that be happening? They should be like your quote employees, you know?
Well, I don't know because Rob can help me out explaining this because the landscape of college has really changed, and that's a reason why Nick Saban retired so soon. It's because a lot of the students now, like in college, is more like money driven and NIL deals. Before NIL deals, it was about making him a better football player and making him a man, and that was football was always about until like it became NIL in college. And now I just see a lot of students. I'm not saying there aren't students who have the worth ethic, but all these transfers are due because of money because they get more money instead of entering the draft, and that's the real truth to today's college landscape.
Here's Lucas Bessemore and Bob Brown. You're surely the animal half full cup of Joe on coming at you on Hump Night. Bob, Deion Sanders posted something about Colorado, whereby he was going to start fining players if they were like late to workout or a lot of different categories, how much they were going to be fined for. And help me on this because from what I understand, not every player gets paid on the team. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Well, am I wrong on that?
There's not nearly as many players getting paid a lot of money as you think. The reason we hear about them is because those are the only ones getting paid. And the guys and they're not employees yet. If they become employees of the university, then they have HR issues. They have collective bargaining. They have a lot of
that's true too.
It can be a real problem. But the money, you saw Duke reached a settlement with their quarterback that who's now going to go to Miami. Mensah.
Yeah.
It's going to go to Miami. But they reached a settlement.
Yeah, they did.
He walked halfway through a contract. I mean, I hope they burned his ass.
I do too.
I want to bring something up about the contract. I asked the question about the enrolling thing, and then I reminded me of a situation last year. I don't know if the name Xavier Lucas rings any bells.
Yes.
But he tried to enter the transfer portal, but due to his NIL contract with the university, it disallowed him to join. But he unenrolled and enrolled to Miami and then committed. And the NCAA rules, according to CBS Sports, NCAA rules do not prevent a student athlete from unenrolling from an institution, enrolling at a new institution, and competing immediately.
That's interesting because Lucas posted that question earlier. Was that you?
That was me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, okay. So, and thanks for the question and the correction. I was always under the impression that that not every player gets paid, but maybe I'm wrong. But Rob puts that out there. Is Deion Sanders going too far? You think? And it's for both of you. Go ahead, Bob.
Fining players for being late and stuff like that. Yeah,
I could see it. I could see for being
he's right.
late.
He's right to do it.
Because
in the pros they fine you. In the NFL, everything's just a fine.
If it's not just taking money, like bench him for the first half. Like, no special treatment. It's like if you want to bring championship football back to Gainesville at this point in time with the talent this roster has, you got to be hardcore.
Yeah. You're not gonna fix a mess without being tough. And you know what? If you run off 20 guys, so be it. You find out who wants. You got to quit this. It does not work trying to be friends with these guys. It does not work as the parent My kids hate, but they don't hate me, but they're like, you're a hard ass. You're blah, blah. Yeah, I am. Then they tell you when they're 25 and 28 and 29, like, and you were right. Well, that's what these coaches are trying to do. They're still, I just checked. No, Lucas is trying to get into the University of Florida, and he's going through the Santa Fe route, like they do Southern Union at Auburn. You know what the retention rate of students who do that's about 80%.
Yeah.
So a lot of kids come in to a Florida or an Auburn and they ain't ready. They had the grades or whatever, but they weren't ready. You go to a community college, by the that's what's going on. But University of Florida, quit being so stupid. Take your in-state legacies.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just my personal thing.
No,
I got a lot of Florida friends.
I do think Billy Napier was on the right track with that. Like he got Vernell, Miles Graham, so like he was doing the right thing with legacies. It's just his plan didn't work.
I'm talking about the student academic, just regular students. Yeah,
I thought you were talking about recruiting.
Yeah, it's all recruiting, Lucas.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. A lot of ways, yes, it is. It is all recruit. He's Lucas, Bob, you're sure the animal. I don't know, Lucas. Did you see the video, the swamp?
The one of the Summerall hugging his recruit, or
no. That was cool and stuff. No, I'm talking about the Florida Gator media thing that they put out called "This Is Swamp" with Summerall. Have you seen? You gotta watch it. I go and watch it. It'd be the best 40 minutes you would see. It takes you inside into the Florida Gator program.
I think I saw a clip of it. It was his speaking to the team after the FSU.
Yes, you have to hear that, because after hearing that speech, it's like I will run over a bulldozer. I will run over a bulldozer for that man. I mean, the way he speaks and interjects. I mean, it's like I want to play for this guy. I really truly want to play for this guy. So I mean, it's just. I mean, I love what Summerall's doing down in Gainesville and Santa Fe area. What's the attitude of Gator fans? Are they liking what they're hearing and seeing with Summerall?
Are you asking me first or Rob?
Yes. No, I'm asking you.
For me, I honestly think everybody is confident in what they're hearing, but the expectations are like so low right now due to the mess of the past few years. I do believe though he needs to have a winning season, at least start off with 9 wins. Like I think our team can get 9 wins realistically. Our strength of schedule, yes, it's still tough, but it's not as tough as it was the past 2 years realistically, at least from my point of view.
No, I saw that when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is going to be a decent schedule. It's not that tough, but still, these guys need to win at least 8 or 9 games. Championship game has come and gone. Lucas, your thoughts about Indiana their road to the national championship? I mean, the job that Chris Cignetti did, which is unfreaking believable.
Well, I'm actually from Virginia, so I actually follow JMU a little bit. So.
Talk about them. I want to talk about the Dukes. I mean, what's the student enrollment there?
Oh, you want acceptance rate or like the?
No. Like how big a student body do they have? I mean, Liberty's got 40,000 down in Lynchburg in the mountains.
Which school is that?
What, JMU or?
Yeah, JMU.
James Madison University.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in Harrison.
They have just become such a hot. I mean, their current coach, well, most recent, is now the coach at UCLA.
They're in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and yeah, I was actually reading an article about him the other day because I appeared on my ESPN. He has a very cool backstory. He was from like bartender, coal miner, all the way up to being a head coach, and then now he's the head coach at UCLA. So he had a very cool story.
Huge. Yeah. And now JMU has Billy Napier. So
I think I don't want to come off harsh, but he's back where he belongs. I think he'll do good at JMU.
I do too, and I do too. There's some guys who are fit for Division I ball, and some guys who are just fit for the lower level.
Yeah,
and I think that's where Billy Napier needs to be. I was talking earlier before you came on. They've been busy. They've announced the date for the blue and orange game. They've announced when they're going to be practicing. They will take off for spring break. And I thought I saw something where they might have a couple of open practices. You know anything about that? Or is that still being talked about?
I haven't been following enough recently. My whole attention's been on college basketball the past 2 weeks, to be honest. Now that
Well,
SEC play.
well, speaking of college basketball, the Gators will take on South Carolina. They lost to Auburn in a very, very tight matchup. But all in all, it looks like the Gator basketball team has got their act together.
I would say yes. Oh, during SEC play, things they definitely need to improve on: free throw shooting, spacing. I think Todd. It's still a new team, so it's building chemistry, of course. But I think Todd Golden needs to figure out how to play Boogie, Flan, and Xavier and Lee at this floor at the same time. Because at the end of the Auburn game, I don't know if you watched this, Animal, but he didn't put Lee in until the last 2 minutes when Florida clearly needed spacing on the court. The offense was very clustered at the end. So I understand if it was for like defensive purposes, but they've went on a run and it was 54-54. Auburn goes on a run to end the game.
Yeah.
And then from there, they needed a spark. You brought in Lee to be that offensive spark, so I didn't understand why he was put in so late in the game. So,
But hey, the man won a national championship. So he's not going to be perfect in everything that he does. I had something on my mind that you caught my attention on. So we have a Super Bowl coming up here in the next week or so. New England versus the Seattle Seahawks. I'll give you my prediction here in just a minute, but Lucas, two very good teams that, quite frankly, any of these two teams can win it. I mean,
I watched that Seattle. That stadium, guys, is like the swamp. It is so loud that the architectural design, you can't design a stadium better.
It's like a bowl, like on the top, isn't it? Like
the canyon. It's like a canyon. If you've ever gone down in a canyon, the echoes, the sound, the architects, the engineers that did that are to be commended. Lucas, are you at the O-Dome?
No, I changed the background from the football stadium.
That's what I was saying. I mean, I was like, the court is empty. I thought they were playing at home. There.
Yeah, I was
they're on the road in South
They're on the road in Columbia, South Carolina. I was like, maybe a lot of people, students go in there and run laps and do steps and walk, in the Coliseums. All right, both of y'all just said something. The NFL, my favorite time is the playoffs.
Can we speak about the NFL real quick? Bill Belichick not a first ballot.
Well, that's what I was fixing to get into, and let me explain to the fans what has happened. For the end, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Now, as you all know by now, the NFL is in big mode with the Super Bowl. Along with that will be announcement for who's going to Canton to be in the Hall of Fame. Recently, the voting was released a couple of days ago and was announced that Bill Belichick will not be on the ballot for this year's Hall of Fame. Now, as I go back to Lucas now, I look at that and I say to myself, that's not a big deal because I think eventually Belichick is going to get in, but Belichick had issues. And there should be a consequence, and he should be paying the price for that. But I don't know how you feel about it.
I saw this on First Take today. Mad Dog and Stephen A. Smith brought up that, what are you going to do about Tom Brady then? He had played just a part with Spygate and Deflategate. So is there going to be is there an asterisk when he gets in? Like,
are they really using that as the reason for Belichick being denied?
Well, I also I saw something about the former GM Poland. He had a vote, and he was saying, "Yeah, I don't know anything about voting, and we all know
Well,
about Kraft and Belichick's relationship, but I don't know anything about that." So,
well, here's what they're
yeah,
starting to come out. Here's what they're starting to come out with now. It was being reported Napoleon was the one that released the information about Bill Belichick
that's
not
right.
being
Yeah,
not being on the first ballot. Okay, now those results are not supposed to be released at all, and so a lot of people are starting to think now that maybe it was Bill Belichick himself that released the information and not Bill Polian. Polian has denied that he had any involvement in releasing the information. But frankly, I don't know how he would even know about that. But still, I mean, look, Bill Belichick has done a great job with the NFL. He's won multiple Super Bowls and all, but he has. But I don't want to say he has an asterisk, but he was involved in Spygate. He was involved in Deflategate. There should be a penalty for that. I'm not saying you don't need. I'm not saying you don't get it. That you shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think you should be in it as a first timer. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but go ahead, Bob.
Well, Cam Newton didn't get in the College Football Hall of Fame. How do you explain that? I mean, we're getting some really petty, tawdry crap here. Spygate, the Michigan deal. Have they taken back that national championship from Michigan yet? I mean, remember, those snobs at Michigan have always, rules for thee, but not for me. We're the winningest program in the history of college football. Okay? But
I think Alabama may have something to say about that.
No, Alabama's not. Michigan's been playing football longer. That's all it is. And they've been beating Club and Baby Seals, a lot of easier competition for a long time. And then they hired Sharon Moore, which was a lazy hire. Now they got Kyle Whittingham, and he can right that ship. He'll get them going. But
I think Kyle Whittingham is going to do an excellent job with that Michigan team. Look, it's talk about what's next for the Gators. I mentioned they have the spring ball, they're going to do spring training and everything. But what about after that? Do you know if someone knows what he's going to do after the orange and blue game? I know they'll still be working out, but will be doing anything special that you know of?
I mean, after the orange and blue game, they just have camp until the season starts. That's all I know. Usually I just read articles and catch up during that time. I know what he needs to decide as a quarterback. Is it going to be Philo or Trammell?
And he mentioned that. He mentioned that about the competition. He also mentioned the possibility of bringing in another one. And we have another signing day coming up here, I believe, in March. Would the Gators have any room to bring on anybody? Even though they're like 120 people right now.
I mean, they kept their 4-star quarterback in Will Griffin, so they have 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, so they have a 3 quarterback system. So that's gonna be interesting. I understand that you also write for the Gator Bait magazine with Buddy Morton. Is that right?
No.
Oh,
No.
No one told me that. Maybe I'm mistaken that. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
There you go. So who do you have for the Super Bowl?
I think Marshawn Lynch revenge. Seahawks win.
Really? How about you, Bob?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks as well. I mean, I think that that loss, man, you're talking about on the goal line against the Patriots, one of the stupidest plays ever. I don't know if Revenge ever won a game for you, but I'm just going to go with Seattle. They're just playing lights out football. Not that New England isn't, but if Mike Vrabel wins, he's going to be the first guy to ever play for a team that won a Super Bowl when he was a Patriot, and also come back and coach that team to a Super Bowl victory. That's pretty cool. After his, 10 years with the Titans, not so successful, change of location means a lot.
I mean, it's just, that's right, because he was with the Titans for a couple of years and things didn't work out well for him. And as it turns out, he goes to New England and now he is the talk of the town with Drake May and company. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. Gators and Gamecocks gonna be coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Lucas, thank you very much for joining me, and hop
No
on
problem.
in a couple of weeks, okay, buddy?
I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. I'll talk to you soon. This kid is a stud. He's getting after it. I love what you're doing, Santa Fe. You'll get into Florida.
Good luck to you,
I
Lucas.
think I will.
There you go. Julian, hey, you're welcome back on anytime. So
No problem.
just hop on, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Lucas. Thank you very much. Rob, as we close this out here in just a few minutes, we have the Trinidad Chambliss decision still coming down, the whole Menza deal going to Miami, but I was kind of amazed, and I don't know, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Carson Beck announcing that in his 2 years since going to Miami, he never went to class. Now, I've always thought that if you play, that even if you graduate, if you're still playing, you have to go to class. Am I right on that or no?
I always thought if you were graduated, then you started taking classes, postgraduate, working on a master's or something like that. It's a joke. It's a disgrace. Miami's a good school. It's a very good private university in Coral Gables.
Yes,
no excuse. Carson's already got his degree from Georgia. That's a pretty damn good degree. But I thought you had to be enrolled in something.
I did too. I'm
gonna ask an athletic director when I get off the phone here. I'm about to find out.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know when you find out, because I would be very interested in knowing the contents of that.
Okay, all right, we'll do it.
A couple of hires happened this week. Robert, speaking of Tennessee, we talked about a moment ago. Robert Saleh is going to be the new head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Mike McDaniel goes to San Diego to be their offensive coordinator. The Bucs get Zach Robinson to be their offensive coordinator. I heard his media interview today. Got a chance to watch it in its entirety. I think the Bucs are locked down in getting a guy like Robinson.
Well, I don't know that much about that, but I want to go back to something you said a minute ago. Trinidad Chambliss. He's got Tom Mars. Tom Mars, the attorney from Little Rock. That's the guy who sued and made the portal what it is today. Trinidad Chambliss will be playing at Ole Miss next year, I think. They'll file injunctions. They'll find a judge in Mississippi, judge shopping. They'll get one. If TJ Finley can be in his 7th year now at Incarnate Word in San Antonio. He started at LSU, Auburn, Western Kentucky. Honk if he was your quarterback, but he's been around. Trinidad's only played 2.5 years. I think he gets it. But also, huge news. Tennessee hired Derek Owings last week as their new strength coach. Guess where he's been for years? With Kurt Signetti.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard that. Yes, I heard that.
Big deal.
I heard that.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
That's a big deal for Tennessee. That's a big deal for them.
Yeah.
As they begin their workout. So
it's a big ass deal.
Well, yeah.
Animal. You know what my nickname was as a kid in high school? It still is. Animal. Animal.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Los Animales.
There you go. I mean, there you go. Going to be off next week, and then we'll do a final show after Super Bowl week and close it out. Think you'll be able to join me 2 weeks from
absolutely.
today?
Hey, man, I love coming. This is fun. This is fun. Look, talking college football, basketball, college sports, too much is never enough. So I'm ready.
I am too. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, geez. Now we just got word Miles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns requesting a trade because Jim Schwartz did not get. Jim Schwartz was let go as defensive coordinator of the Browns. So Miles Garrett wants to be traded.
I remember him as a rookie in 2014 for Texas A&M. What a stud. He is. He's a 5-star, by the way, out of high school.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes, he is indeed a 5-star.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Always.
I want to wrap up a couple of things real quick, and then I'm going to start it off. But thank you so much, Rob Brown, joining me on this edition of Half Full and Cup of Joe. So we have the Super Bowl coming up a week from this Sunday. The Pro Bowl will be next Tuesday, and then following that will be the Super Bowl Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. We heard from the other guys who they think it's going to win. I like Seattle. Even though the Bucs defeated them earlier in the year, I think Seattle's defense has taken a big turn for the better. And I think what we're going to see happen is that I think we're going to see a very good Seattle defense come in and possibly give Drake Mays a lesson when you're playing against a top-notch team. I want to thank Rob Brown. I want to thank Lucas for joining me here in this edition of Half Full Cup of Joe. No show next week. We'll be back 2 weeks from tonight for the wrap-up of the 2025-26 season. Hopefully James Ludeman can join me, and we'll talk all things football, Buccaneers related, and just have a good time. Y'all, with this bad weather, you all please stay safe, drive carefully, but I always like to say, when not a Gator, you're primed to be Gator bait. Thanks very much for joining me. Y'all have a good night, and God bless. Let's see here. All right, there we go. All right, y'all have.
Thanks for joining Joe Fulford on Half Full and a Cup of Joe. Don't forget to tune in next time for more football talk, analysis, and fun. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Half Full and a Cup of Joe. And remember, always keep your cup half full and your team spirit full. See you next time.